tell you a lot more about it, but without further ado, please welcome up Brit, president of the Giving Keys. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's super fun to be here. What a beautiful space.
Right? Yeah.
This is new-ish, right?
Yeah.
Control Collective in Pasadena. I've been to the Control Collective in Playa, and it's a very cool space. I get to talk about my most favorite thing with all of you this morning, social business, and how we do that effectively. It's really challenging to have not only the bottom line of the profitability of your company, but also the social bottom line and making sure you're delivering on your mission. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what the Giving Keys is, how it got started. We're going to watch a video of our founder talking about that. And then I feel like this group is going to be very interested in hearing about how we structure our impact model. So I'm going to dive deeper into that than I normally do in other talks because I think this is the right crew for that. Yes? Am I getting it right? Okay. Awesome. Also, Jordan just enlightened me that I can actually do like my own slides from my phone.
Yeah.
Keynote remote. What the heck? Technology's awesome. Okay. Let me make sure that I'm not speaking too soon, that I actually have this set up right. Jordan, you might have to come see me. Oh, I found it. Okay, so we're going to watch a little video about our mission and our origin story.
I've been incorporated for 29 years.
I worked for like 4 years, and that wasn't for the lack of trying. So that was like the motivating factor of just being able to eat.
When I was in prison, I had this stigma in my mind that once you're a criminal, you're always a criminal.
I think that's why the Giving Keys resonates with people because they're buying something that they know that the money is going to create jobs, and it's creating second, third, fourth, fifth chances for people.
This is the best job that I've ever had. And the fact that I engrave inspirational words for people, I'm actually engraving a key that somebody was wearing.
The Giving Keys started on tour. I am a musician. My first album was called Vlogs. This New York hotel key was really cool, so I put it around my necklace. When I was at a locksmith, I had an idea to engrave love and flaws on this key. And I saw all these old used keys on the side.
I was once like a lot of these keys that was thrown away. No one ever took a look at them. And see, are they really worth being disposed of forever?
It's a conversation starter. When people are wearing a key, people usually ask, why are you wearing that key? Or, what is that? And people like telling the story. Like, I'm helping somebody try to save up to get their own apartment by buying this. Or my friend gave this to me because I was going through a really hard time. Or I got this because I needed this word, and now I'm going to give it to somebody else who needs it more than me at some point.
But knowing what I do, as far as engraving keys, it has a focus in his life. And that's a motivating factor in this way when I'm in the room.
My name is Erica Stanek, and I'm a proud owner of the Courage Giving Key. About a year ago, my daughter was diagnosed with a disease. We were in the hospital for 2 months, and she was so sick that she needed blood transfusions. She almost died, and I just felt like I couldn't bear it anymore. I had nobody. So my friend came, and she looked at me, and she grabbed the key and took it off her neck and put it on mine. I'm sorry. It still touches my heart to this day because that one act gave me so much courage to just kind of keep going and keep pushing forward. I just grabbed her and cried as she put that on me, and I read the inscription and it said courage, and that's exactly what I needed in that time and in that moment.
So your story is so amazing that I wanted you to meet the person that made your key.
That really touched my heart. It really did. My daughter was almost give me the courage and the faith to continue on. And like your hands touching that key really helped me in such a horrible time. It really did. You're making a difference. You're making a difference.
I think the thing about being human is that we all need these words, we all need hope, we all need strength, we all want love, but we also like the feeling of doing good for others. They want to also give those things away to somebody else.
So it took other people to come in to give me positive words to help polish me up. That would really help me change my behavior, my conduct, my feeling towards life, period. I was telling myself, you're worthy, you are appreciated.
Somebody gave me a second chance. It showed me that I'm still loved, I'm still important to people. They made me feel that way, you know, I love that.
And I think the word that stands out for me the most would be love. You know what I mean? Why? Because I think the world needs a lot more of it.
So, I think there's probably some people in the room that are interested in doing something like this. Maybe there's a group of people or a particular population that you want to create opportunities for or serve in some way. And maybe you want to do that in a for-profit context. I just want to encourage you that it is possible. And I hope watching this video and hearing even Caitlin's little bits that she shared about her kind of leading up to starting this idea, this was never her master plan. This was not the thing that she set out to do, but organically the pieces of this idea came together and she kept just putting one foot in front of the other and using the resources that she had to get something moving and the momentum built. And she just kept responding, and then I got to join into that response to the momentum and keep fanning the flame and growing this thing. So I just want to encourage you, if you're in the room thinking, I don't know if I have what it takes, or I don't know if I can do this, or am I really cut out for that? You can do this. You can totally do this. A little bit about how I got connected to the Giving Keys before we dive into the rest of the slides. I met Caitlin through my roommate. They had been friends for about 10 years. And when I graduated from high school, my intent was to go into the fashion business and ultimately end up doing something where fashion and philanthropy were intersecting. And how I got to that point is a very long story that I can't get into today, but the short version is my dad was a pastor. I thought my only option if I wanted to do something impactful in the world was to go into ministry or nonprofit. And through a really amazing series of events, I learned that that was not the only way to live a life of impact. And that sort of shift happened for me right around the time I was graduating from high school. So I was like, I'm gonna go into the fashion business. This is something that I love and enjoy, and I wanna figure out how to use it for good. So I took all these jobs that really were like stepping stones preparing me for this opportunity. And so when I came into the Giving Keys in 2012, we were making about like $300,000 in gross revenue, and within 4 years, we were an $8.5 million company. So it grew very, very fast, and it's been a wild ride. And the main reason why we're doing this work is because we are in a homeless crisis here in LA. Mayor Garcetti in 2015 declared a state of emergency on the issue of homelessness. There's 53,000 people experiencing homelessness in LA County. That number is actually reduced from the prior year's count. That's the first time in 4 years that the count has gone down. And just a little bit about how that has happened. There was some really big initiatives around getting veterans into permanent supportive housing. So the homeless population, the homeless veteran population has decreased along with families experiencing homelessness. And so the concerted energy and effort that the county has put into those particular groups within the homeless population has been very effective. But we're seeing really significant increases in homelessness for anyone over the age of 62. That has a lot to do with rent control lifting and people being priced out of the housing that they've lived in for decades. There's also one of the fastest growing homeless populations is LGBTQ youth. So that's really a sad reality. My slides aren't working, so maybe you can come help me. Seems to be stuck. Caitlin really, when she was younger, and even still to this day, she does a lot of sort of impromptu outreach to people. Like she'll see someone on the street and she just wants to connect and learn about their story. That's really how this all got started, the mission side of this. I forget if it's in this video or a different video, but she mentions meeting the first homeless couple, Rob and Sarah. They were on Hollywood Boulevard holding up a sign that said "Ugly, Broken, Hungry," and she just made one simple move in asking them to dinner. And over the course of that dinner, she complimented Sarah's necklace, and Sarah's response was, "I made this. I make jewelry, that's my hobby." And it was this aha moment for Caitlin where she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm having this locksmith stamp these keys for me. I'm selling them at my merch booth. They're selling out more than my records. I should give you the opportunity to make these keys because you're living in a dumpster right now and you would like a job and be able to earn some money and move into a shelter instead of a dumpster." And by shelter, I don't mean shelter. I mean like shelter in the truest sense, something with a roof over your head. And they, little by little, as they worked for her, started saving up money, moved from the dumpster into a motel, and then moved from a motel into an apartment. And they effectively became the first graduates of the Giving Keys employment program as we know it. So I'm going to talk about how we structure our employment program now, because I think that's going to be the most interesting and relevant to you. And hopefully my slides will keep working. I was so excited about Keynote Remote. Dang. Do you want to just advance it on the computer for me? Awesome. Okay. So these are just some of our partners. We definitely could not do this work alone, and I think the intersection of nonprofit and for-profit when you're working in like a mission-led or mission-driven organization is really important. It obviously varies and depends idea to idea, but for us, we don't have any like formal MSWs on our team. We really lean into our partners to give us the expertise around how to navigate the housing system, how to support people that are looking to move through custody cases to regain custody of their children. A lot of the experiences or barriers that people might have, we are not experts in those things. We're slowly learning a lot as we just kind of move through the growth of the organization and work with our team members. But we lean into our partners for a lot of that. And our main job at the Giving Keys is we want to be a supportive, compassionate employer. So that does require us really understanding people's stories and really understanding and having like a trauma-informed work environment. But for us, it's about building the right culture. And so for us to have a culture where people walk in the door, feel accepted, don't feel like their past is held against them, feel like they're seen in the light of all the potential and possibility that they carry, if we can reinforce that idea, a lot of the other things around housing and expunging their records or moving on into their next job, we lean into our partners for that. So this is not an exhaustive list. I need to update this PowerPoint because we just opened our portfolio of employment partners pretty significantly. But when we first started, Caitlin was working with PATH, People Assisting the Homeless, and they're a wonderful organization. The way that partnership was set up was that we would take keys to their transitional housing facility, and the folks would stamp the keys there, and then sometimes we would meet them there, sometimes they would come to our office, and we would pay them per key that they were hitting. And the case managers were then working with them on all of their sort of like housing needs and anything that required a case manager's support. What we found was not having the intersection, like the personal relationship. If we kind of contrast that against Caitlin's relationship with the first couple, Rob and Sarah, they were together often. Like Caitlin invited them to their family Thanksgiving. They were meeting up at coffee shops to talk. They were really connected and spent a lot of time together. And there was a lot that happened just through relationship and by osmosis of the proximity of being together. When we transitioned to the PATH relationship, not having as much interaction and just paying per piece and providing a paycheck was helpful, but not as effective. So when I started full-time, we started having this dialogue around, now that Brit is in the office full-time, can we start bringing people back into the office environment? And really what that does is helps create an opportunity to grow and expand in the soft skills. And how do you work on a team? How do you communicate? How do you receive feedback? How do you show up on time? How do you come prepared for work? How do you work a 40-hour work week in an office context? Those are all things that are really, really important, especially if we're wanting to move people on into their next job. So, Chrysalis was the next partner after PATH. And I would say, for anyone who's actually interested in I'll be here at the end, we can talk about this too, more case by case with your idea, but Chrysalis is a partner that really, their objective is to be a workforce development agency for low-income and homeless individuals. They're situated on Skid Row. They also have an office in Venice. But for any of you that are interested in creating job opportunities for people transitioning out of homelessness, they are an amazing partner because they carry a lot of the weight on the front end, meaning like, this is very brass tacks, but they will cover workers' comp. It's like a temp agency, so if it's not working, you give them a phone call. You know that you're sending that person back to a supportive kind of safety net that they can find another opportunity. There's a lot of the risk as an employer is taken off, and you have the ability to have an impact in someone's life without having all of the like employer compliance piece that you have to support. So Chrysalis provided a really great service, and we still continue to work with them, but now that we're deeper into this work, we feel more confident about our ability to screen effectively and to find the right people for our culture and the right people for our jobs. So we've decided to bring on more partners. So that looks like Skid Row Housing Trust, First Place for Youth. We're also working with the Weingart Center now. Let's see, who else did we just onboard? Imagine LA is working with homeless families. St. Joseph Center on the west side, and I know I'm forgetting one. But that's kind of our partner structure. The way that it works is we notify our partners that we have job openings. So 100% of our production staff are people that are coming from our nonprofit partners. Those jobs look like stamping the keys, assembling the jewelry, packaging, quality control, fulfillment, and logistics. And then our goal as a bridge employer, and I don't think I've said that term yet, we see ourselves as a bridge employer. We want people to come to us, but we don't want them to stay for forever. We're paying living wage, so that's better than them being in a minimum wage position, but we want people to move on into their next career step. And so we intentionally put people on one of 3 pathways when they start with us. And this can change or transition over time as we become more clear, or they become more clear about what their ultimate end goal is. But we put them on one of 3 pathways. The first one is promotion within the organization. So we've had folks go from being production associates to being customer service coordinators or production coordinators, where they're overseeing teams of 10 people, they're developing their people management skills. The second pathway is going through the Pepperdine Micro Enterprise Program. So 5 of our people have graduated from that. It's a micro enterprise program, basically like a business incubator, business accelerator program, specifically for people that are transitioning out of homelessness. And they get to work their business plan with a mentor, and they do a pitch and can raise money to start their business. One of our women got her business funded. She's living off of it and raising 4 kids off of that income after working with us for 2.5 years. So pretty incredible. Yeah. So the third pathway would be graduating out of the Giving Keys into another job. And that is the one that I feel like is the least developed, and we're really working on figuring out how to do that effectively. If any of you know anybody that works at Metro, we're trying to build a partnership there. We want to find a company that is really interested in working with us as like a pipeline. So we would provide them with staff members. This would be a way for them to also give back to the community. So we're still working on that, but so far how that's worked is much more kind of case by case. So one of our guys came to us 2 months after he got out of prison. In prison, he had been doing a lot of construction work and property management, and like for the prison grounds. So we worked with him to find a property management job, and he just moved on like a month ago and is making almost double what he was making with us. So it's pretty incredible. Our goal is not only to run a successful company and create jobs and create space for people to transform, but we also want to influence other businesses to consider stealing our employment model. Because if there's 53,000 people in LA County experiencing homelessness, the Giving Keys has provided 100 jobs, and we're very proud of that. But 100 against 53,000 is really nothing. And to do the work of creating jobs for that many people, it's going to require a joint effort of multiple businesses that want to commit to creating jobs together for this community. So if you're interested in that, please come talk to me afterwards. I would love to talk about connecting you with our partners and see if any of these people might be a good fit for what you're doing. We go to the next one. You guys know this already, 100 jobs. Go to the next one. So I love this quote. This is from one of our guys on his bell ringing day. And what that means is this is a tradition that Chrysalis started. Whenever one of their clients gets a full-time job opportunity, they get to ring a bell at the Chrysalis offices. They invite the company or like the employment partners team to come and attend that. So our whole team goes and they ring a bell in the lobby of Chrysalis in front of all the other clients who are still working in that program and looking for job placement. And they give a speech about what their journey has looked like and do that in order to inspire the other clients to get through the program and look for a job. So this is what one of our guys, Darren, said. Today symbolizes the first day of a good movement that I've made in my life, and I'm very happy because everyone was here to support me. It seemed like when I had graduation as a kid, there were always people who didn't make it. Today I graduated everything at one time, and all my family was here to see it. Nobody missed it, and I'm overjoyed by that. So this is a beautiful guy that lived a lot of his life alone. And the reason I want this quote shared is because this is not just objectively about him getting a job. This is about the sense of community and belonging he feels with a group of people. This is about knowing people care for him and how motivating that is. This is about redeeming bad memories around graduations and being given, or him working hard to get this moment. where people get to celebrate with him about something significant. So, I love that quote. To kind of like switch gears a little bit about how we've grown, we have this product that has an inspirational word on it, and each wearer is supposed to embrace the word on their key until they meet someone else who needs that word more than them, and then they give it away. This, as you saw in Erica's story in the video, is one of the like value propositions or motivating factors for our customers to purchase from us. So a lot of them want to support this mission, but a lot of them also want a piece of jewelry that they think is cute and fun to wear and has meaning for them and gives them a chance to be an inspirational person to somebody else, gives them a chance to build a moment of human connection. And so as you're working through your idea, I think Caitlin really struck a nerve in terms of what people are looking for and what they're willing to spend money on to invite new products and new ideas into their life. And product is so important. And for us, we've really wanted to move forward with the product line to create longevity for the brand. So we're known for the key on the chain, but what does it look like for us to branch out into other product categories, to do t-shirts, to do other types of like trend jewelry, so we have little baby mini keys. We can't hold the business back by just selling what we've always sold. So we're in this phase now where we have this crazy growth. Things have like leveled off a little, and we're working on new concepts and new ideas to make sure that we continue to scale the business. And these are some of the new ideas. We keep going. So these more trend-driven items, being in the fashion business, it's really important that you know what people are looking for from a trend standpoint. And we've wrestled with this, to be really honest. It's like, do we deviate from the key? Like, it's in our brand name. But what we've found is that for people who have been loyal to us and wanted to kind of move through our growth process with us, they're also interested in seeing something new. So as long as we make it make sense and it still applies to the mission, people are all about it. Keep going. And then we've also started like a mobile retail Airstream that we've traveled around with, taken it to the Grove and to a bunch of other shopping centers in Southern California. And then we actually just opened our first ever brand-owned retail store in the front of our office. We opened it mid-August, like soft launch, but we just had our party on September 13th. So celebrating 10 years with the store opening was a really fun moment. Yeah, let's go ahead and watch this. This is about the store. We'll end it with this celebration of the milestone of the store.
There are 53,000 people in Los Angeles County currently experiencing homelessness. In a city known for the bright lights, for many, the future can seem pretty dark. But we believe that this storefront can be a shining beacon in the arts district, adjacent to Skid Row, close to the shelters. Because in the last 10 years, we've employed over 100 people transitioning out of homelessness. Created over 133,000 hours of meaningful work.
This place, it would change you if you worked here long enough. Because what we do, we basically self-hope. That's what we do here. When people know that you're homeless, they tend to look away because what it is they want to help you, but they don't have no clue how to start.
With the arts district undergoing so much new development and things are getting more and more expensive, we want to make sure that it's not just a place where people with needs are driving by all the tents off Skid Row on the way to their favorite restaurant, but this is a place where they can come and actually invest in the issue of homelessness by purchasing our inspirational products.
They're like, oh, really? Okay, we heard about the giving kids, but we never actually had a chance to interact with a person that actually worked at giving keys. We put together the keys that say inspire, hope, love, dream.
So the other part of our mission is to not only embrace your inspirational word, but to pass it on, to pay it forward to somebody else you feel needs the word on the key more than you. And then we have this whole wall, it's a pay it forward wall, so you can come in and write the story of how you got your key or why you gave it away. So it's this whole wall of inspiration.
When you know people care about you, it's more easy to care about someone else. It is. A lot of people, they're messed up because society or the things that they went through in life tricked them into thinking that nobody cared about you. And see, that's the key. When you know you have someone to care about you, it makes all the difference in the world.
This is a place where people's stigmas around the issue of homelessness will fall away because they will be so connected to it. And this really will be a hub of inspiration and hope for everybody, realizing that we're all in this together.
I just wanted to take a moment and open up for any questions. We got a couple of minutes here while we have Brit with us before bringing it to a close. Any questions? Any questions?
Can you get like custom keys with custom words or is it like custom?
Yeah, so you can order custom keys on our website, thegivingkeys.com. And then also you can come to the store and get custom keys made and actually see them get hit, which is fun. Yeah. And I also want to make sure I say this for anyone in the room today. We're doing a special discount code for people that attended this event. So I had little cards, but I didn't get them in time, so you guys can write this down. If you want to go on thegivingkeys.com, you would enter at checkout the code Catalyst Coffee 20, like the number 20. Catalyst Coffee 20 to get 20% off your whole order.
Yeah, that's awesome. Other questions for Brit? Yeah.
Do you want me to use the mic? Or?
Yeah, he's going to come around to you.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Jordan.
It's really helpful.
So I've been reading a lot lately about how jobs really aren't a way out of poverty because of the cost of housing. And so I was just wondering, how do you address the fact that housing is so expensive in Los Angeles? And I know that's not necessarily part of your mission, but are people finding affordable housing when they're getting jobs with you, or can you just say more about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, the affordable housing crisis, I think, is really one of the main drivers around why there's so much homelessness in LA. Like you said, we don't really have control over that. I'll answer it in two ways. One, the way that we're helping or working with our folks on finding housing is really through informal networks, and then also with Skid Row Housing Trust. We can't get preferential placement for our people there because they have to go through the coordinated entry system, and there's a lot of just procedure around that. But we work with partners like Skid Row Housing Trust. We also work with folks like friends of ours that are either have like a back house and they're willing to rent out for less money, or our people do a lot of their own investigating. One of our guys was just walking around West Hollywood and saw a back house that was listed with a sign in the yard, and it was $800, and it was something that he could afford. So we're working to identify opportunities, but it really is not systemic. It's not a systemic solution. I think my one request for the room around that issue is when we go to vote in November, there is a rent control measure. Please vote in favor of rent control being implemented. That's one small thing in the grand ecosystem of what the solutions are for affordable housing that can make a difference. But something I found really interesting, we work with the Everyone In, we work with United Way, and they're doing a campaign called Everyone In. If you want information or to stay up to speed on what's happening with the Measure H funds, that's a great Instagram account to follow. You can just get a little update in your feed every time they post. But Chelsea Byers, who works with Everyone In, came to our office and gave a presentation and shared that we should have been building about 50,000 units of housing stock annually, and we were building 30. So there's really no fast way to solve that problem. But if we can get rent control measures in place, that can help a little bit. But I really think it's about finding fast and less expensive ways to develop housing. So there's another organization, if you want to look them up, called Motive. It's some guys from USC that are working on this really cool affordable housing concept. They're brand new. I'm really hoping that they make it and deliver on the dream that they have of converting people's garages into affordable housing units that would go on the market for like $1,200. So I don't know, I'm just telling you the information I have, but we don't really have there's not a clear answer on that one. Yeah.
Okay, time for maybe two more questions.
So you mentioned that you had a person that had success who started their own business.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's an area that you know, maybe you're leaning more towards having, like teaching entrepreneurship, small business owner, that kind of thing. Is that an area? I just want to hear you elaborate more.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were really pumped to work with Pepperdine on that program, and we really believe that that is an incredible way to end poverty and end the cycle of poverty, is for people to have so much agency that they're not just an employee, but they're an owner of their own company. The sad news is that that program lost its funding 2 months ago. So now we're talking internally about, do we develop our own program and kind of work with the folks that were doing the program at Pepperdine to recreate it in our own context and continue to train our folks in the way that they were training their people. And I feel like we're nearly ready for that. We actually need some volunteer support for that. Because we couldn't have like a full-time staff member at this point, just with the resources that we have to run and facilitate that. But if we could find some mentors and advocates that would want to come in and help facilitate that training, I think we could really make an impact there. Eric, the guy in the last video, he was another Pepperdine graduate. He started his own business selling women's clothing. So he goes to salons in South LA and buys wholesale in the fashion in Santee Alley, and then goes and sells it in South LA, and he doubled his income. So just from a pure economic standpoint, the folks that have gone the entrepreneurial path are certainly the ones that are making the most money. So I would love to invest in that, just based on the data that they are the people that are finding the most success and have the most stability after they leave us. Yeah.
Okay, last question.
This one's more from like a product and brand standpoint. And the Giving piece has such a great product. Do you have any kind of information on the stickiness in terms of your brand, where if someone was selling a similar product but it didn't have this type of mission behind it, what would be the customer uptake? How would, is there any information that you can provide on how the mission impacts the overall brand and its, profitability?
Sure. We did a survey of our current customer base about 1.5 years ago, asking them what's the main motivator for them buying from us. And what was really interesting is that 26%, the number one reason why people purchase from us was because of our homeless mission. followed very closely, 2% difference by people that bought from us because they wanted a pay-it-forward product. So that's the data that we have on that. I think it has been interesting, discouraging, frustrating to see how many people are actually doing the exact same product concept. So we have a Google Doc that has like over 150 knockoff companies. One of them is called Jesus Keys. So I mean, there's like somebody successful business at one point said like imitation is the highest form of flattery. Like when people take your idea, you know it's a good one. We've actually contacted some of these companies to say, hey, love that you love this idea, love that it seems to be working for you. Would you consider just changing the shape of the thing you're stamping? Because we really want to ensure that the people we're providing jobs for we can create as many jobs as we possibly can. And so for you to like take market share actually does negatively impact our ability to create jobs. And a lot of people, when we send that message, they make a change because they want to support that mission as well. But that's kind of like the data point I can give you is that 26% of the people that responded said that they were purchasing for that reason. Yeah.
We'll ask Brit to stay a few minutes after, if you don't mind, for any further questions anyone might have. I know personally I'm so thankful you came to share today. First of all, just to be inspired that it can work, it can happen. You can have a successful, profitable business with that social end, that social mission. I know for me with Rosebud Coffee, like, this is the whole reason I asked for this to happen, is to be able to meet others and to be encouraged by that. So I'm personally thankful. And I think for me, the big takeaway, and I think maybe for everyone, I might imagine, is we're all cultural shapers here. Like, everyone is in a place of influence and of giving keys that example of how powerful relationship and the cultural environment you create can transform lives. And so maybe that's the encouragement I'll take away and invite you to think about your workplace, the community you're a part of, and the culture that you can shape that creates those relationships that are extremely transformational. So with that, Brit, we want to thank you so much for coming and sharing with us today.